Hello again and welcome to the third part in our sailing video set. This time we're here at Dex, which is a popular yacht club where you can find free boats if you want to get started. And also they have many wonderful yacht based events here that I'm sure you can check out. You'll see plenty of yacht clubs because we'll visit them all. Now then, I'm here with the lovely two ladies Olgy and Bexy today. They're going to be coming along for the sail, making the video look pretty instead of having to see me in my shorts that I never change. So without further ado, let's spin the camera around and let's show you how to res, because I've talked about it but I've never really shown you. So basically over here, and this will be subject to change depending on the viewer that you're using, but they'll all have a button that looks like this, like a suitcase. When you click on it, it brings up your inventory. Now in the inventory is everything that you have. If you've ever played games online before or played any kind of games, you'll be familiar with the term inventory. It's where you put all your stuff. Now, in this case, we're going to go out on the Loonetta, which is this thing here. Now, I'll give you a piece of advice. When you res into Second Life, just pulling it out in front of you here, like where my arrow is, might feel great, but you'll probably have loads of trouble with it saying, you can't res here. Unfortunately, the angle that your camera is at, it's further away than you think. So here's a little tipster. If you're going to res things out in res areas in public like this, it's better off if you press down the Alt key to get your little camera guy here. Click it as close to you as you can, and then press Control Alt and up arrow so that you go directly up. Then Control Alt Shift and down arrow until you can, there I am, let you see yourself, so that you're looking right there above. This is the res zone. We can definitely put our boat here. When we did it the other way, we may have been right the way up here somewhere. So grab your boat, hold down on the left mouse button, drag it across, and then let go of the mouse button, and there's the boat. Then you can close your inventory. Now you can move your boat around, so if you right click on it, choose the edit option, then hold down the control key, you get this thing when you're holding the control, which lets you move it, and the blue one lets me click on it with the left mouse button and drag it, so we can make the boat face this way. Let go of control and you get the arrow keys, and then I can just click on it and drag the boat across. So we'll go here, we don't want it on too shallow a land, and that's it done. That's the boat in place. Just close it. Now we can hop on it. So, oh, and I've stood in the wrong place. I want to get onto the helm, but for some reason didn't get it the first time. There you go. Okay, so I'm at the helm. The girls are on. We'll close the flap. Now, this is a sail yacht and a motor yacht. So it's got an onboard motor which we can use if we get into trouble, if the wind's suddenly gone away and we can't do anything, or if we need to do any manoeuvring, we can do manoeuvring with the motor. Now, as ever, I always sail in the mouse look, so we'll zoom in, and as you can see, I've got some controls here. They don't actually work on this boat, sadly. They're just there for show. This boat, I generally have got the hood. See the little white writing there? Similar to before, it's a B-wind boat. We've got a 50-knot wind from the east. We're going to go south, and I've got a thing about northeast winds. Now, I think, as I mentioned to you before, all boats are different, so they all react differently to where the wind's coming from. And I'm trying to remember if this one's better with it on the side. But we'll go northeast and see how we go. So we set a northeast wind. Then we type raise to bring up the sails. There's the sail. Right, sail is up. Now all I've got to do is sail it. So up arrow to loosen her right up first. Just make it nice and loose so I'm in control here. Okay, then we'll turn around. So face where we want. Again, left and right arrow keys to do this. You'll also notice that with things like boats, the girls can come along with you and they can sit on the boat and do nice poses and enjoy the ride. So it's always nice if you can take your friends out. You get to have a good sail and they get to enjoy all of the scenery. Off we go. So as you can see, we're doing about 6 knots. Leaving Dex now, we're going to take you down to a place called Half Hitch, which is a Linden res area where you can also res things out. A very popular place, and probably a good place for you to start if you want to be in the middle of the Blake Sea. A little bit of history on the Blake Sea, I suppose. I don't know it all. These videos have been thrown together quite literally. But I can tell you that originally it was for pirates. There was a pirate movement, and they used to do a lot of pirate roleplay in that area. And it kind of grew from that, as far as I can tell. And then sailing in the whole, including yachting and racing and whatever else, kind of came from that. And so it became the place where everyone wanted to go for wind. It was the only place with water for quite some time. And now, of course, as you've seen, there's lots of water in lots of places. So this boat's quite an easy sailer. If you're looking for a yacht in SL, I would recommend it. It's a good all-rounder. It's nice and easy to sail, so if you're not somebody who's ever done it before, you don't need to be some kind of rocket scientist in order to sail it. You can see it's nice and gentle. Just up arrow, down arrow to pull the sail in and out. It comes with a spinnaker, so if you're not happy with the slowness of your boat when you're downwind like this, you can put the spin out, which is all good. So I'm just bringing that out a bit just to bring us along here, and I'll show you the spinnaker so you can see it. So sailing along as we do, straighten her up a little bit. Okay, and you'll notice that we're doing about 5 knots at the moment. It's not particularly quick. Let me just make sure I've got this where I want it. Okay, so the wind's northeast, and if you look at the radar, you'll see that's behind us in that 45-degree arc. So we can use the spinnaker. So you type the word spin, and you'll see, look, out comes the spinnaker sail. On this particular boat, it trims itself. So whereas you saw me having to trim it on the Nacra for the Gen, okay, as it was, on this one, the spinnaker just comes out and works. You've just got to trim the big sail, which is this one here. So as you can see, the speed is increasing somewhat. We're now up to 7.30 knots and climbing. So when the wind's behind, you get your spin out, you'll get a much faster speed. But if you fancy a slow cruise, no worries. You don't need the spin. You can just use the mainsail, and that's absolutely fine. Again, the sailing's down to you, how you want your boat to perform. As I've mentioned in the other videos, I'm not an expert at sailing in by any means, technically. I can get by. There are probably ways, if you practice, to get them to go really quickly with the right settings. So, don't be put off that they don't go very quickly when I sail them. I know they can race, and if you learn how to do it, they will go very quickly. This one, though, is a yacht. It's not a racer. And this is a nice speed, 8 knots, 9 knots, 10 knots, for cruising along, as we are here in the main channel. Now, nothing landmarky yet in this area, but this is a popular area where people come to and from between decks and the northern continent and the Blake Sea. So this is like the joining route, if you like, or one of the joining routes, but the specific joining route that takes you from the northern continent that we've just come from right down to here. Now, the first landmark we're going to come to is a place called Windlass, which is like a big mountainous island, if you like. It has a res zone in it, so you can res boats from there. That's another nice thing for you to know. I will briefly show you it as we go past it. And you, as I say, you can go from there or from Half Hitch. There's quite a few res zones. Something I will mention, as I can see some here actually, but you will see them when we get down to the Blake. Each sim in its, now depending on what angle you're looking at it, of course, depends on where it is, but in the corner of each sim is a small box. Now, if you look at my screen here, okay, so I'm in mouse view, so let me just come out of that a moment. Right, so if you look over here on the map, you notice this little square here, and then this one's also got a little square here. You will notice that each sim has one of these little squares. Inside that little square is a res area, so you can put your boat out. So if you get in trouble, and as I said, sometimes Second Life can go a bit wrong, and you lose your boat, no problem, just get yourself over to one of those squares, and then you can get your boat back out, and off you go again. Or if you decide you don't like the boat that you're on and you fancy changing it, no problem, go to one of those squares, delete your boat, put out your new boat, off you go again. So as you can see here on the left, is this mountainous region that's turning up is Windlass, another popular landmark here. I can see some people are over there. In the entrance of that, you can res a boat, and there's a little jetty in there for you that you can use. We're going to go past it because we're heading south to a place called Half Hitch. I don't know why it's called Half Hitch. A lot of places out here are named after real places, of course, in the States and around about, so you may recognise some place names. My geography is not amazing, so I don't always know the places. You'll notice in front of us here there is a boat that I have spotted. He's on my radar, but he's also in front of me, and I can see him. He appears to be going across the front of me. So that's the back of him, so we should be able to go around the back of him, no problem. Yeah, he looks like his sails are down, so he isn't actually going anywhere. So we will aim behind him, which is a safe place to go. So we can just cruise behind him without any troubles. Again, like I said before, with the rules of the water, there are no real maritime rules in Second Life that are set in stone. But generally speaking, you know, if you can go around the back of people, it's easier. They're not going to be reversing. Certainly not in a sailboat. So if you're in a speedboat or even in a boat like this, another sailboat, just head safer to head behind them, because again, they might suddenly put their sail up and start moving. You have to remember that not everybody has the same draw distance in Second Life. So they might not even see you until you're right in front of them, like literally at the end of their nose. And that is one of the reasons why quite a few people cut you up here. It's not necessarily because they're trying to cut you up. They didn't see you until it's too late. And by the time they do see you, you've crashed into them. So this gentleman or lady, I don't quite know if it's a man or a woman on the left here. Right even. I don't even know my left from my right. That's a good start, isn't it? There you go, look, they're enjoying themselves. Obviously doing a bit of fishing or something. Or maybe just sitting there enjoying the water. As you can see on the yachts, it's quite peaceful and nice. It's quite gentle on the water, quite relaxing. This is one of the things I do pimp about sailing in Second Life, is that it is a very relaxing thing to do. And you can just cruise along in your yacht like this. Beautiful. I'm going to show you as many landmarks as I can while we go, because there's quite a few to show you. Not too much, but I'll mention them to you, so that you've got some idea. If you ever do, I'd like to think after watching these videos, you'll download Second Life from secondlife.com. Download the viewer, have a go. When you get used to it, like I said before, you can use different viewers. This viewer I'm using is called Firestorm. They have a third-party viewer section, so once you get brave and want to try different viewers with different features, by all means do check that out. But just get on here. It's free to join. If you decide you like it, you can pay for a premium membership, but otherwise just get on here. Go to one of these places I've shown you, get yourself a free boat, get on the water and have fun. This on the left is Half Hitch. Big lighthouse. I was having to search for the word there. Now this is a very popular rezzing zone, and I'm just going to go around it to show you where that is. You can watch some of the races from here. It's a great vantage point when people are racing around Second Life. You can just stand. They've got like a standing area where you can watch the boats because they cruise around this as part of their route. That's a nice thing to do. It's a beautiful place actually to just go and chill out. In fact, the way we'll do this, I'll take you around it this way, simply so I can show you the entrance at this point. There's an entrance here on the straight ahead of us, in fact. I'll just steer the boat around a bit. Now you can take your boats in here, and this is a res zone too. So you can go inside of here and res your boat out if you want to go in somewhere a little bit more private, less open. Or if you've got a tiny boat. There's also a free boat in here. The Lindens have nicely provided you with a free boat, which maybe we'll see it as we go past the front of the entrance. If you look over to the right, and I will try to assist you with this. Oh, a speedboat going across the front of us. It's always hard when you're videoing and trying to sail at the same time. See there, you can just about see it. Hopefully as we go past, I'll get a better camera view on it. See, there's an opening there. Wait for my sail to get out of the way. Typical, we're looking at crashing at this. See it there, look. You see the opening? Inside of there, you can go, and there's a free boat in there. But around this side, there is also an open rezzing zone, which I'll show you on this same sim. This is where this video is going to end, by the way. We're going to pull up in a minute, and then we'll carry on the video from here. Keeping them in digestible chunks for you, of course. As you can see, it's very busy around here. There's people sailing about all over the place, so I'm being careful to avoid them where I can. Sailing quite tight in here, not the greatest, but popular little place. You'll see lots of people enjoying it. Nice sound of seagulls, everything else. Okay, so zoom that out. Right. Now, you can just start to see it now. Here on the right is the Half Hitch major rezzing area, or main rezzing area, I guess. We're going to come into it because we're going to stop the video here, and then we're going to res another boat here just to show you how we do that. It's very popular here. I'm just trying to make sure I get to the right place. Right, we need to go around the other side, actually. If you look at the mini map, although it's hard at the moment because I'm not zoomed in, and it's very busy around here today as ever, you'll notice there's a big dirty boat with steam coming out of it here. There's also some bloke in a F-16 or something floating about. And our friend Lucy Britt here's just rezzed out her racing boat, so we'll try and go around her if we can. She just gave a perfect example, actually. Hello, Lucy. You're live on TV. She just rezzed out a boat there, as you can see. Now, I'm just going to bring it round here, and then we're going to take it in, and it should be fine. So, just give me a second. And this is also where you can watch the sailing from as well. We're just going to take it in round here. Okay. Bit of a tight turn. Obviously not really doing well with the wind here, but I'm just trying to get her in enough to park her up. Might even have to get the onboard motor going if we're unlucky. Because we're going into irons, you see, because the wind we've got is northeast, and obviously... there we go. We might just squeeze in here now with this, not pull it tight for this wind. This is difficult. This particular boat, as I mentioned before, some boats go upwind nicely. This one really doesn't. So even though we're pointing east right now, with the northeast wind, it's really a struggle to get this thing to pull in tight. There you go. Really had to tap at that quite a bit before it let me do it. Okay, and then we can lower the sail. And more up. This is Half Hitch. I'll give you a quick tour of it, I guess, before we stop. And then we'll carry on the next video. So, getting ready to moor. Let's get close enough for us to jump off. Popular place. You'll get a lot of people here. Don't be shy. Don't worry about it. As I said, if it's a bit busy and you don't fancy pulling your boat out right here, you can go inside and do it in the quiet in there instead. I think we'll moor it here. Why not? So, as you can see, I'll just cam it a bit for you. This is where you can watch daily boat racing. And you can res here at any time. It's quite a big area, so if you've got a big yacht or a big boat, you can do it. Look, there's Jake in his F-16 or whatever he's flying there. I'm going to stand up. So on the mini map here, you'll notice if I just zoom it in for you, see there's a little bit of a square here. This is the res zone. So we can res in this area here, or we can res in this area here, and we're facing that way. So we're in this res area here, or where that gentleman is stood over there, you can res out the front there, and you can use the minimap to find out where they are. Right, well that's it really. I think we'll leave it here, and we'll jump on to the next video. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to jump off this boat now, and then when you join us at the next place, we're going to res another boat out here, a much bigger yacht, and then we're going to take you around the Blake Sea, show you the Blake Sea and all of the landmarks that are involved. It'll be a bigger video, the biggest one I think of all of them, as it's the biggest landmass. And then we'll take you up to a place called Nap Traction, which is another yacht club, and that's where we'll end for now, for this day. You've got plenty of videos to keep you going. And then hopefully next weekend, if you've given us some feedback and you've enjoyed it, we'll make you some more. Until the next video though, bye for now.